It's been almost a year since I uploaded my last video, so how have you been? As expected, this video is made for my midterm submission for the subject of semantics. For those of you who are new to my channel, hello, I'm Audi. Welcome, and everyone, come sit with me. In this video, I'll be presenting the result of my study, or technically a summary of a book chapter that I recently did. The title for my presentation is Exploring Semantic Structures, a study of hyponymy, apposition, and lexical fields in meaning relations according to Sebastian Lerner 2013. Lerner's theories have actually been compiled and published back in 2002. However, since I used the second edition of his book, Understanding Semantics, that was published in 2013, I put the latter publication year in the title. So please give me any suggestion or correction in the comment section if you feel that something might be off from my whole presentation, as I am too still studying, so your suggestions will be very much appreciated. Then, without further ado, let's dive into the video. Before we get to the main discussion of this presentation, let me give you an overview of what is semantics. Semantics is a study of linguistics that concerns with the meanings in linguistic features such as words, phrases, grammatical structures, and sentences. Meaning itself includes not only the interpretation of language but also the exploration of broader conceptions in various areas of life. However, it is unusual for semantics to study about non-linguistic phenomena, yet studying verbal actions, namely spoken languages including phrases, sentences, dialogues, and text, is an exception. Studying semantics requires considering how linguistic elements are used in an actual speech, as this practice usage provides the data for semantic analysis. Consequently, the meanings derived from linguistics utterances are an essential component of the study of semantics. In Chapter 5 of his book Understanding Semantics, Sebastian Lerner offers an understanding of the meaning relations within language, explaining how words and concepts are related to each other in semantic space. As mentioned previously, I'll be discussing three main parts, which are hyponymy, oppositions, and lexical fields. From this point, I'll start to discuss the first one, hyponymy. A relationship which involves a general to specific connection, where one term, the hyperonym, is a broader category, and the other term, the hyponym, is a specific type within that category, can be defined as hyponymy. If A is the hyponym of B, then the meaning of A must be more specific than B. The comprehension regarding hyponym includes the hyperonym as well. For instance, if sparrow is a hyponym and bird is the hyperonym, then knowing what a sparrow is includes the understanding that it is a kind of bird. Lerner then adds that there are numerous examples of hyponymy, as they could be pairs resulting from simple syntactic combinations such as adding an adjective to a noun or an adverb to a verb, like green cap and walk slowly and walk, where green cap is the hyponym of the hyperonym cap and walk slowly acts as the hyponym of hyperonym walk. Another point in hyponymy that it's still worth mentioning is regular compounds. Regular compounds in the meaning relations are linked to the concept of word formation through morphological composition, as they are formed out of two parts of noun. In line with the previous statement, the first part of a regular compound is called a modifier, while head acts as the second part where modifier adds a specification to the meaning of the head noun, while also making the compound as the hyponym of the head noun. However, Lubner argues that meaning relation between the compound and the modifier is not hyponymic. To illustrate, the compound apple juice has apple that gives specification to its head, juice. Hence, the compound means juice that is made out of apples, but one could not say that apple juice is an apple, because the focus is on understanding how these regular compounds derive their meaning through specific connection rather than through hierarchical classification. Moving on to the second main part, that is opposition. Oh, what do you think of our first discussion? Let me know in the comments. So, Lubner's concept of oppositions encompasses various types of semantics relationship that highlights contrasting or complementary meanings within language. These relationships include antonyms, directional opposites, complementaries, heteronyms, and converses. Opposition within compound words such as antonyms and complementaries created a unique connection by highlighting contrasting or mutually exclusive meanings. The first part of opposition to address is antonymy. Antonymy represent words with opposite meanings where the presence of one implies the absence of the other. Pairs of adjectives such as big, small, and good, bad are the prototypical examples of antonyms. Lubner states that their meanings can be illustrated by means of a scale of age, size, diameter, quality, brightness, difficulty, etc., which is open on both sides. Additionally, many of antonyms of adjective are formed by attaching the prefix "an" or its Latin origin equivalent in "im", "il" to the adjective, like likely and unlikely, and logical, illogical. Based on previously mentioned examples, intuitively, the meaning of adjectives with no prefix are felt to be positive. Meanwhile, there are also antonymous pairs of nouns such as war, peace, war, peace, pairs of verbs such as encourage and discourage, and pairs of adverbs such as always, never. Thus, it can be concluded that antonymy is not restricted only to adjectives. Next point in opposition, we have directional opposites. Directional opposites are a pair of words or expressions that describe contrasting directions or state along a particular axis. These opposites are commonly found in language to describe physical space, time, or changes in state. The term axis refers to a directional orientation in space or time that helps establish relationships between opposites concepts. The directions are distinguished in several ways. 1. The front-back axis or primary horizontal axis, which describes a line of reference based on the human body's orientation. What lies ahead is in front, while what behind is behind. The example of this axis follows pairs like advance and retreat and forward, backward. Second, 2. The vertical axis aligns with the human body's head to feet orientation. Directions toward the head are above and those toward the feet are below. Related opposites include top and bottom and rise and fall. 3. The left front axis comes from the body's lateral symmetry, defining left and right. Words like turn left and turn right are examples. 4. Directional opposites related to the passage of time is called temporal directional opposites. They refer to events happening before or after a specific point. Common pairs include before after and yesterday tomorrow. 5. Opposites denoting change of state involve actions or processes where one word signifies the onset of a state, while the other represents its end or reversal. These opposites typically represent a binary change, such as turning something on or off. Examples include switch on, switch off, and tie, untie. Okay, antonymy, check. Directional opposition, check. Next up on our list is complementaries. Unlike antonyms, complementaries do not allow for degree or intermediary states. They are absolute in their contrast. They exhibit a mutually exclusive relationship where both terms cannot coexist simultaneously. When one term is true, the other one must be false, and vice versa. In other words, if one term applies, the other one cannot, making these types of oppositions a clear-cut either-or choice. This is unlike the other oppositions such as antonyms, which may allow for degrees of difference. Consider the terms even and odd when describing numbers. If a number is not even, then it must be odd. There is no overlap or middle ground between these terms. Prefixation with an or in is a common way to create complementary opposites. For example, acceptable, unacceptable, and visible, invisible. In previously mentioned examples, the prefix signifies the negation of the base term, reinforcing the idea that these words represent two contrasting states or conditions. Overall, complementaries are a unique form of opposition where terms denote one of two possible conditions, making them logically complementary and reinforcing the idea that they represent clear-cut alternatives in a given context. Heteronymy, according to Lemner, is not related to scales. Heteronyms are not opposite extremes, but just members of a set of different expressions which often have a common hyperonym. One could also say that heteronyms refer to a set of words that all belong to a broader category but represent different, distinct items within that category. Thus, heteronyms differ from antonyms. While antonyms like hot, cold represent opposite extremes on a scale, heteronyms are not necessarily opposites. Consider a category like animals. This broad term can encompass many heteronyms like dog, cat, elephant, and tiger. While they're all animals, each represents a distinct kind of animal. Apart from nouns, there are many fields of heteronyms such as different verbs of motion and verbs denoting human activities. Woohoo! The following slides present converses, which is the last thing in opposition. Lemner defined converses as two expressions are converses of each other if and only if they expresses the same relation with reversed roles. In other words, converses are pairs of words or expressions that describe a relationship or action from opposite perspectives. For instance, the terms buy and sell represent the same transaction but from different roles. If one person is buying, then the one is selling, the other one is selling. Some converses are mutually exclusive. They are called contraries, like above and below, while others are complementary, like husband and wife. Additionally, some terms can be their own converses, such as different from, where the relationship remains the same regardless of the order of the terms. As a whole, converses offers a unique way to understand relationships in language, emphasizing how meaning can shift based on perspective or role, even though the underlying connection remains the same. We now have come to the last main part of our discussion, lexical fields. So, words can be grouped together based on similarities. Lexical fields are collections of words that belong together because they share something in common. In a lexical field, all the words are the same type, like all nouns or all verbs. They also have meaning related in some way. For example, in the lexical field of color, words of all colors like red, green, blue might be found. These words are connected by specific relationships like being different shades of the same color. It is in line with some conditions fulfilled by a lexical field which was mentioned by Lubner as follows. 1. The lexemes are the same word class. 2. Their meanings have something in common. 3. They are interrelated by precisely definable meaning relations. 4. The group is complete in terms of the relevant meaning relations. Some lexical fields are considered as small fields. It is defined by specific meaning relations among their members, demonstrating various semantic structures and interconnections. According to Lubner, strictly speaking, it is not words that belong to lexical fields, but words with a certain meaning. Some examples of small fields are as listed. 1. A classic example is pairs of antonyms like thick and thin, these words representing opposite ends of a specific dimension, in this case it's thickness. The field is considered complete because no other words share precisely the same meaning. 2. Polysemous words which have multiple meanings with distinct antonyms, like old that has two meanings with separate antonyms, old versus young and old versus new. These form different lexical fields based on the specific meaning of old. 3. Complementary expressions such as girl and boy also form a small lexical field. This field can expand this field can expand to include the gender-neutral term child, creating a larger field that represents general terms for children. Lubner discusses taxonomies as hierarchical structures that organize words or concepts based on their relationships, facilitating a deeper understanding of semantic categorization. Taxonomies are distinct from other hierarchies in that they represent a clear subset within a broader category. For example, in the hierarchy of words, terms like nouns, verbs, and adjectives represent a taxonomy, as they are distinct kind of words. Count nouns and mass nouns, further divisions of nouns, also form part of this taxonomy. Taxonomies are essential for organizing information logically and are commonly found in various fields like biology, where animal classification follows a structured taxonomy from general terms to more specific subcategories. However, not every hierarchical structure is a taxonomy. For instance, the relationship among sibling, sister, and brother isn't a taxonomy because sister and brother aren't subsets of sibling, but rather share a common parent term. They differ in one specific attribute, such as gender, which doesn't create a deeper categorical structure. The final point is meronymy, which is the technical term for the constituting meaning relation. A system based on meronymies is called mereological system or mereology. If A is a meronym of B, then B is a holonym of A. Meronymies involving nouns can be spelled out with the help of sentences of the form an A has a B. Lubner has given us the illustration. It is like A head has a face has a mouth has a tongue has a tip, etc. However, it is not a reliable test for meronymy. There is a further important difference between lexical hierarchies and meronymic systems. Unlike hyponymy and subordination, meronymy is not generally a transitive relation. In conclusion, the study of meaning relations as explored by Sebastian Lubner offers insights into the connections between words and concepts within a language. Hyponymy connects terms in a general to specific way. Opposition shows how contrast defines meaning with antonyms, directional opposites, complementaries, and converses. Oh, heteronymy too, showing the boundaries between concepts. Lexical fields show us that words are not isolated. They form networks of related terms that share common themes and context. These meaning relations enrich our understanding of language and its ability to represent the complexities of the world. The study of semantics is about exploring connections as well as defining distinctions. Well, thank you for joining me in today's Come Sit With Me. I'll see you around, and in the meantime, have a nice one. Bye bye. Bye bye.